A little Taoist who never caught ghosts returned to secular life. On the day of the wedding, none of the senior brothers were present. However, all the ghosts in the city gathered in the sky above the wedding, hoping to block the thunder disaster for this little guy who always had a soft-hearted heart, nagging thoughts, and eventually married a little fox. But that day, the sky was clear and nothing happened. Longhu Mountain is located 20 kilometers southwest of Luling County. It is said that the Taoist deity Zhang Daoling once refined alchemy here, and when the alchemy was completed, the dragon and tiger appeared, giving the mountain its name. In fact, the truly famous Longhu Mountain is the Heavenly Master Mansion in the mountain. Throughout history, the Heavenly Master Mansion has taken it as its responsibility to subdue demons, and has been praised by the world for not pursuing fame and reputation. By the time of the Great Heat Festival, it was rare to find a serene and cool place in the Longhu Mountain. In the small path of the mountains and forests, there was a young man wearing a blue Taoist robe and a Tai Chi yin-yang diagram hat, aged 15 or 16, walking step by step on the stone steps of the mountain road. If you look closely at his small face, which is pink and lovely, the elder Marshall brothers in the mountain love him very much. With a poke of their hands, it will fall like the freshly baked mantou. He is the mascot of his senior brothers. In the Heavenly Master Mansion, he is the only one who can avoid meditation, cultivation, and catching demons. But as he grew older, he also had to take on responsibilities. He walked step by step, but his innocent and refined face appeared very firm. However, at this moment, a voice came from behind him. Taoist, Taoist, little Xianggong, and fox girl burrow into the bed. Sleep, sleep, little prince, tonight the red candle enters the bridal chamber. This voice is soft and soft. Just by listening to it, one can imagine that it must be a lovely person who will be loved and spoiled. However, upon hearing this sound, the little Taoist frowned and looked up at the mountain as if he was very disgusted. A little ahead was the Heavenly Master Mansion Mountain Protection Formation, and as soon as he entered there, the sound could no longer be heard. Thinking of this, he quickened his pace. The owner of the voice paused for a moment, but he didn't care at all. He just continued to follow behind him, muttering incessantly. Taoist, Taoist, little Xianggong, and fox girl burrow into the bed. Sleep, sleep, little prince, tonight the red candle enters the bridal chamber. The sound was like a talisman, and as soon as I recited it, the little Taoist's footsteps would accelerate a lot. After the sound repeated several times, the little Taoist finally arrived at the Heavenly Master Mansion Mountain Protection Formation. The little Taoist lifted a transparent ripple with his right foot, which transformed into an illusion. This is the way the Mountain Protection Formation automatically recognizes incoming people. If it were a fairy, it would not have any impact. If it were a monster. The little Taoist's mouth slightly curved upwards, revealing a cunning smile, and then stepped into the Mountain Protection Formation. To outsiders, the little Taoist seemed to disappear out of thin air. The Dragon and Tiger Mountain returned to tranquility with the disappearance of the little Taoist, and the wind rustled the leaves, making a rustling sound. A figure walked out from the depths of the dense forest, and a girl who was about the same age as the little Taoist was wearing a cross-necked waist-length Confucian skirt, looking bewildered at the place where the little Taoist's figure disappeared. The girl has a thin jade lips that complement her emaciated face, making her look very lovable. However, she has a pair of captivating fox eyes, and just seeing her soul is like being sucked into those eyes. The girl pursed her lips as if determined, and gently poked her slender fingers. Pop! A lightning bolt appeared out of thin air, like an electric snake winding around her fingertips and then colliding with a burst of green smoke. The girl screamed and flew backwards, then fell to the ground. Originally, the snow-white fingers were now blasted black by the lightning, and a trace of flesh and blood could be clearly seen. The girl gritted her teeth and held back the tears swirling in her eyes, feeling as if there was nowhere to hide her grievances. She just stared blankly at the place where the little Taoist had disappeared. The little Taoist looked coldly at all of this through the protective mountain formation, and his milky little face looked quite experienced. How annoying! He angrily cursed and walked towards the depths. Before descending the mountain, senior brothers once said that monsters are the most deceitful, especially good-looking monsters. Don't be soft-hearted when you encounter them. Subduing demons is the purpose of the Heavenly Master Mansion. There will always be a first time for people, and there will also be a first time for eliminating demons. His senior brothers told him that as soon as his eyes closed and his peachwood sword fell, the monsters would hiccup, so don't have any burden in your heart. But this time he not only failed to kill a monster, but also saved a little fox trapped by a monk in a confused way. This little fox is really capable of deceiving people. He claims to be his destined person and even wants him to be her little prince. Xiao Dao's face turned red with morale and he accused her, human and demon go a long way. It's a great rebellion. I never thought of her, but she relied on herself, causing me to miss even one monster along the way. You deserve it. The little Taoist felt a headache as he thought about these things. He had to bear a heavy burden when he went down the mountain this time. Thinking of his master's advice, the 376 senior brothers looked up eagerly, and his scalp tingled. He walked all the way and began to think. His senior brother Hu Shao, who was ranked 376, once solemnly told him not to panic when something happened. He first thought about whose responsibility it was, and if it was his own, he had to figure out how to pass it on to others. This move really works. Every time something goes wrong, I rely on my senior brother Hu Shao, who ranks 376, to turn the tide. This time, I should be able to do the same. He murmured to himself and rehearsed, I went down the mountain this time to save the disaster victims. I planted fields for them for over a month. My skin has tanned a lot. On the way, I met an old lady who was about to hiccup and wanted to see her son thousands of miles away on her deathbed. My disciple continued her life until she met her son. Muttering incessantly, he arrived at the gate of the Heavenly Master's mansion and looked at the three noble and solemn characters of the gilded vermilion lacquer. The little Taoist's face turned pale. What should he do? This reason is not sufficient enough. I just wanted to turn around and hide in the corner, but I never wanted to be watched by his 117th senior brother. Senior brother 117 was still cleaning the ground with a broomstick, but he never expected to catch a glimpse of the youngest junior brother. He was so happy that he threw the broomstick and shouted, "Junior brother is back." The Heavenly Master's mansion strictly prohibits shouting and screaming. This shout breaks the rules of the mountain gate and is like a stone stirring up 1,000 waves, with more and more rough and wild roars echoing. Xiaoqi has returned. Coming back. At the door. Quick, fast, Xiaoqi is back. The little Taoist has no name. He was an orphan picked up by the master in charge, and happened to be ranked 377. So the senior brothers gave him a name of Little Qi and called him Little Qi. The little Taoist grew up puzzled and said, "Is there a 7 with 2 points of water?" "No." His master blew his beard and glared. "Do you have some water?" The master exclaimed angrily, "That's a typo. Wuliang Tianzuan, master, are you using vulgar language?" The teacher was angry and cried. At this moment, the little Taoist was like a stove filled with incense in the temple street. 100 senior brothers were eager to come and hug him a few times, and the little Taoist blushed and stuck out his tongue. If black and white impermanence had passed by, he might have found a leak. Cough. An elderly man with white beard and hair stroked his long beard and slowly walked towards him. As he saw the old man approaching, his senior brothers all cowered and bowed like mice that had seen a cat, saying, "Master." The young Taoist quickly bowed and saluted, "Master." The old man nodded in satisfaction and reached out his hand to support the young Taoist's bowing hand, then looked around and said, "Let's skip it all." Everyone felt relieved, but the little Taoist was sweating profusely at this moment. His master felt sorry for him, but he was also very strict. A drop of cold sweat slipped off his face, and he silently prayed in his heart. Primitive Heavenly Sovereign, Supreme Elder, Heavenly Master and Ancestor, bless Master with millions of blessings, not to mention cultivation anymore. How many demons did you eliminate during this practice? The old man asked with a smile as he looked at the young Taoist with a spring breeze. Damn it! You have died young. The little Taoist cursed inwardly.